Students, this is Unit 6 in Animal Farm. Now we'll introduce the summary of this chapter. Okay, all the year, all the animals worked like slaves, but they were happy in their work. Okay, Napoleon announced that there would be work on Sunday, but any animal who absent himself, it would have his ration reduced by half. Okay, but Boxer is the key to finishing the windmill. He was very strong that he got up early before the other animals to have a load of stones from the quarry to build the windmill. Okay, yes, okay. When Clover saw Boxer, he warned him. She warned him to be careful, not to be overstrain himself. But Boxer said, "I will work harder. Napoleon is always right." This is his motto. That he said, "I will work harder, and Napoleon is always right." He made arrangement with the cockerel to call in 3 quarters before the others earlier in the morning to work in the windmill. Okay. One Sunday morning, when the animals assembled to receive their orders, Napoleon announced something important, that he had decided upon a new policy, farm that the animal farm would engage in trade with the neighbors farm. طبعا all the animals astonished. Okay, يبقى he made a trade with the other neighbors of the farm to obtain certain materials which were urgently necessary to build the windmill. So he made an engagement in trade with other neighbors. Why? To get some materials for building the windmill. Okay, it would have to be made up by what? He sold some of the eggs of the chicken, for which there was always marked in the wagon. Okay, that the chicken would have to make a sacrifice. That the chicken would have to make a sacrifice over their eggs for sale to the farm of Welgendom. Okay, but their weak protests are useless. The chicken didn't agree, but this is useless. Okay, objection from the 4 porkers who complained when Napoleon apologized. The Sunday meetings are silently by growing dogs. Okay, the animals are fearing with the dogs and the beating of the chief. Okay, so they are agreed to give the eggs, okay, to the other farm, to the Whymper farm. Every Monday, Mr. Whymper visited the farm as he had been arrangement. Okay, it's an arrangement to visit the farm. Okay. Squalor convinces the animal that the pigs who were the brain must have the place to live and work that they move to the farmhouse. Okay, to the farmhouse. Boxer says that Napoleon is always right as his motto, but when Muriel reads what is written on the barn wall, they realize that they are wrong. It says that no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheep, but Squalor that easily explained that the warning was never against beds, which are just like the animals, stole a place to sleep with the sheep. The forbidden was the sheep. Okay, yes. In autumn, the animals were tired but happy. The stores of food for the winter were none to be plenty. There was a few or a little amount of food, but the windmill compensated for everything. Okay. A violent windstorm knocked down the almost completed windmill, but Napoleon blamed it to Snowball. That the windmill, because of the storm, the windmill was destroyed. But Napoleon blamed what? Snowball. He declares that Snowball was an enemy. He offers a medal and an extra food to the animals who bring the Snowball to justice. Okay, eventually and in the end, Napoleon planned to rebuild the windmill again. That it cost him a lot of money. Okay, here at the end of this chapter, that they decided to, or also Napoleon decided to rebuild the windmill again. Okay, here is our summary in page 109 in the booklet. Okay, here we have two new characters, Mr. Winter, human lawyer from Welgenden, who act as intermediary between animal, farm and outside world. The summary: life for the animals begin to get worse. They work harder and longer, 60 hours a week, including Sundays. Boxer is the key to finishing the windmill. He gets up 3/4 of an hour earlier every morning to haul a load of stones from the quarry. Even Benjamin, yoked together with Muriel the goat, does his share. But the routine work on the farm is neglected, and shortage develops. One Sunday morning, as the animals are waiting to get their orders from the pigs, Napoleon announces that he will begin trade with neighboring farms in order to get money for the supplies they need and for the windmill. Despite food shortage, Napoleon has contracted to sell a stock of hay and some of the wheat crop. If more money is needed, the chicken will have to make a sacrifice and hand over their eggs for sale in Welgenden. The animals are uneasy about the decision, remembering resolutions that they were passed against trade with the humans at the first meeting after Jones was expelled. But their weak protests are useless. Objections from the four porkers who complained when Napoleon opposed the Sunday meeting are silenced by the growling dogs and the bleating of the sheep. Squire addresses the animals' concerns regarding the arrangement. He tells them that the anti-trade resolutions were never passed at any of the meetings or even suggested. He blames the animals' confusion in the matter on lies circulated by Snowball. Napoleon employs Mr. Winter, a solicitor from Wellington, as his intermediary, and the pigs begin trading with the outside world. Jones gives up all the hope of recovering his farm and fades from the picture. Napoleon, through Whymper, began negotiations with Wellington and Frederick, playing one against the other to close a big deal. The pigs move into the farmhouse because they are the brain of the farm and need a quiet to work. Squire convinces the animals that the farmhouse is the more suitable to the dignity of Napoleon, whom he calls leaders. When the animals learn that the pigs are sleeping in bed, Clover thinks she remembers that a commandment directly forbade it, but when Muriel reads what is written on the barn wall, they realize that they are wrong. The commandment says no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheep. Squire easily explains that the warning was never against beds which are just like the animals' stalls, a place to sleep. The commandment is against sheets, a human invention. Once again, Squire links the pigs getting special privilege with keeping Jones off farm. A violent windstorm knocks down the almost completed windmill, but Napoleon blames it on Snowball. He declares Snowball an enemy and a traitor and pronounces the death sentence on him. He offers a medal and extra food to the animal who brings Snowball to justice. Any animal's doubts about the Snowball melt away when pig footprints are discovered, leading in the direction of Foxwood Farm. Napoleon snuffs them and says they are Snowballs. The loss of the windmill will make their already difficult lives even more difficult, but Napoleon claimed to rebuild it any cost. Okay? Yes? Here are our questions. Number 1. Why were the animals willing to work so hard? The answer: to build the windmill. Number 2, without whom would the windmill have been impossible? Yes, Boxer. Number 3, what did Napoleon tell the hens about giving up their eggs? The hens said Napoleon should welcome the sacrifice as their own special contribution toward the building of windmill. Number 4, what other habits have the pigs adopted that bother the animals, Clover in particular? Yes, the pigs suddenly moved to the farmhouse and took up their residence there. Okay. Number 5, which commandment is changed and now? Is this tactic effective? Yes. No animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets. That's all for chapter 6. Thank you and goodbye.